Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So, of course here, as I said in the previous episode, this is Matrix Part 2, Matrix 11 Part 2. We're going to start right off the bat with a boss. This one doesn't necessarily have any story importance. This is also the only time you fight this boss, but this boss was pretty decent. For me, he would be top of the middle if I were to place all these bosses, mostly due to some of his attack strings are a little bit finicky to dodge and shit. But honestly, he's a pretty solid boss. We are getting close to one of my top 3, I believe. My personal number 3. Something else that I do want to mention a little bit is, after playing this game so much, like I'm pretty sure I'm at least almost 200 hours already. I have the platinum and everything. After playing the game so much, my list really hasn't changed that much from that video. Being perfectly honest. From just being honest here. Raven would still probably remain pretty low. Bottom 3 for sure. Strictly due to replacement, mostly due to the music. And honestly, okay. My personal thoughts, Raven fight, is that it serves no purpose in the game, and honestly, I think the pacing would actually have been a bit better if that Raven fight was not even in the game. I think they could have left it open for a sequel, but I know they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to necessarily leave that much room for a sequel, because this was initially planned to be a one-off game. So that to me is quite understandable. However, it's just the music and everything brings me completely out of the section of the game that fight is in. It just does. It brings me straight out of it. I still agree. I still hold that the Corruptor is the worst fucking fight in the game. I hate the fact that it fucking appears 3 times. The 3rd time it's paired along with the Hammerhead horse, Naytiba. It's just... that to me is the worst. I would honestly, after playing and fighting against Providence a bit more, and I am mentioning a lot later bosses, but the names don't necessarily spoil them, because you don't really find out who Raven is for quite a long time, and Providence doesn't give anything away, so. But Providence's fight, I would honestly put a little bit higher than I did, maybe. I've come to appreciate the fight a little bit more after fighting in Abolished Knowledge mode and everything. I have come to appreciate it just a wee bit more, just a little bit more. So that's kind of the only fight that I would really bring up or necessarily bring down. So that's kind of my deal in terms of a lot of these bosses here. Also, something else. This is going to be the second to last episode, and y'all will be hearing very much from editing me. For the most part, once we get to Abyss Lavoir, once we get into there, y'all will be hearing much more of in-game me. Again, it might sound a little bit worse than maybe usual, because PS5 fucking sucks in terms of recording my quality. However, I'm going to set it back up to how I had it when I did Kermit the Pimp series, so it actually might sound like halfway, it'll sound better than what it did in the first Stellar Blade video.
Okay?
It'll sound a lot better than that.
Yes. Let's
So,
continue.
just keep those things in those things in mind. Because it's just gonna flow a little bit better if I do that for Abyss Lavoir, and especially for Eidos 9 is going to be heavily edited down. The bulk of the fucking... Okay, I'm not a huge fan of Eidos 9 as a level. For me personally, Eidos fucking 9 kind of sucks balls. Because basically, go here, kill this totem, kill here, kill this totem, 6 fucking times. Well, first you have to do it for 3 times, and then you have to do it for 6 more goddamn times. I'm not gonna show all of that shit. So, 809 is probably going to be really short. So what will probably happen is I will probably, depending on how fast I can speed run through Abyss Lavoir, I will probably. There's probably there is at least, at absolute bare minimum, 3 more videos left in this little Stellar Blade series. Because we have the Great Desert, which there is a lot of stuff in the Great Desert. Like, holy shit, is there a lot of stuff in the Great Desert? There are several, and I mean several outfits. There's a lot of bodies. There are some endings to different quests, but again, the only one I'm going to show is Kaya's. Enya's quest doesn't really... The end of her quest is kind of tedious, and it's kind of a pain in the ass in my opinion. So, the Great Desert episode is going to be a little bit shorter. Just keep that in mind. The episode after that will probably be Abyss Lavoir and Eidos 9, depending on how fast I can go through both of them. And then, third one being Spire 4 to the end of the game. However, Spire 4 is very long. So, Spire 4 will probably get split up into 2 fights. Into 2 episodes. One, getting to the first boss of Spire 4, ending there, and then picking up afterwards. Because it kind of follows the... Stellar Blade kind of follows the From Software tradition of spamming bosses at the end, which I am personally not necessarily a huge fan of that trend really at all. I would like a little bit more breathing room in between bosses, because it's literally back to back to back to back. There's 4 bosses back to back with very, 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 very little traversing. Like, very little. I mean, like, you don't get to another campsite. You don't get to another campsite. That's how back-to-back they are. There's, like, 4 of them. Right? Now, there's 3 back-to-back that you don't get a campsite in between. You don't find a new campsite in between. You're kind of teleported to the fights. And then the last 2, like, they're all in super quick succession. It reminds me a lot of, like, starting with Malakath and Elden Ring. You get Malakath, then almost right after you get Ofnir, then you get Orlu, then you get Radagon and Elden Beast, is like back to back. Even though I would say those fights are a little bit more spaced out than Stellar Blade's final section is, it's closer to Bloodborne's as far as when you have Mechalash, Murgo, and Gehrman, like basically back to back to back, and then Moon Presence right after that, if you did the secret ending stuff. Of which, by the way, we are going to be fighting the Elder Naytiba. At the end of this playthrough, we are not fighting Providence, because... Again, like, Elder Naytiba fight is so much better in every single way than Providence. And both the endings none of the endings are really required for an outfit necessarily, so I can go with whatever the hell I want. So, that is very nice, very nice. Now, okay. Some other things I did kind of want to talk about a little bit here, not really pertaining to Stellar Blade necessarily, but I want to talk about fucking people in terms of glazing games too early and ripping on games too early. I really do think you have to give games a little bit of moments to breathe in order to really judge them properly. This is also why I don't necessarily release my thoughts on the game until I have beaten it and like spent a little bit of time with it, finding every little thing. That's why it kind of took me a while. It took me a while to release my boss rankings. It took me a while to release my boss rankings and shit. and I gave my thoughts on, you know, my Platinum Worthy. I didn't release them like a couple days fucking after the game releases. Like, you can't just... Because when a game comes out, I think it's also, in my opinion, it's a little bit different when it's a brand new game and when it's a DLC. When it's a brand new game, I think you can have some, you can glaze it a little bit at the beginning, you know, you can, depending on the game. If it's live service, then not necessarily. I mean, do I have to remind any of you on how bad Destiny 2 and Destiny 1 was at launch? I personally wasn't there for it, but I've seen the shit. I mean, both those games are now considered to be at least decent, and back when they came out, they were considered to be awful. So you can't really judge necessarily live service games right off the bat necessarily, but for single player games, yeah, you know, that's fine. But DLCs is my main issue, right? A lot of people are starting to... I'm seeing a lot of posts and shit about, you know, the final shape honeymoon phase is wearing off. That shit wore off for me when the fucking raid happened. Also, don't worry. I will be going once enough time has passed. I'm waiting for. I have to wait 2 more weeks. I have to wait 2 more weeks because I believe the title isn't possible to be obtained right now until another. Oh wait. No. Yes. I forget how many encounters are in the fucking raid. But I believe currently it's the title for the raid currently is impossible to get, if I remember correctly. It's impossible to get. Yeah, it's impossible to get currently, and I believe it won't be possible for another 2 or 3 weeks. So I am going to kind of keep track of it and see, you know, in terms of raid difficulty, you know, how it kind of shakes out, because currently speaking, Swordbearer, or I'm pretty sure it's Swordbearer. It's the Crota Zen title is currently still the rarest raid title in the game, rarest. It's the rarest title in the game. Godslayer is the second most common raid title. The only raid title that is more common than Godslayer is Descendant, the one from Deepstone Crypt. That's the only one that's more common. So, I am kind of curious where Iconoclast, the new raid title, is going to fall in there. I am guessing that it's going to be very, very low. Not because it's difficult, but because the armor is so bad. The loot is not that good. It's just, there's not... A lot of players that have played for a while won't have any reason to run the raid besides, oh, it's difficult. That'll be the only reason why. That'll be the only reason to run it. And the raid exotic is nothing to cry home about. As I discussed in the previous video, Dungeon exotics have been better at being an exotic than raid exotics have been lately. For a very long time.
How about we look around a little?
But
just a little.
Back to Blazing DLC. So yeah, final shape. A lot of people are starting to wear. It's starting to wear. The honeymoon phase is starting to wear off now. As y'all know, I think the raid ruins the expansion. Honestly, that being said, the class items are pretty good. I just think Titan Prismatic just needs some fucking help. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I like Consecration and everything, but I want to run Shield Throw. I want to run Shield Throw. Shield Throw feels so good now. If you're a Titan, use a Shield Throw. It feels so good, but the problem is, all of the darkness shit for Titan is so bad. Daringer's Lash with Thruster is awful. I don't care what anybody else fucking says, it's dog shit. By the way, Ambient Leap does not work with the Thruster. It does not. Ambient Leap with Daringers does not work with Thruster. So that's fucking awful. Diamond Lance, I'm not a huge fan of either. I'm curious why they didn't give us Cryoplasm, I believe it's called, instead, the sliding one. I just don't know. I feel like it would have fit with Consecration and Slight Melees.
You okay?
I just don't get it.
I'm fine.
But Bungie said they're looking into it, so I'm kind of curious what's going to happen. I think the biggest issue with Prismatic Titan is the actual aspects and grenades that they gave us. Because Titans don't have a grenade that can kill reliably in high-end content besides Pulse Grenade, and enemies move out of the Pulse Grenade. So yeah, we can't proc things like volatile rounds or unraveling rounds very well. Well, unraveling, yes we can, but we can't proc volatile or anything like that very well at all.
Now.
So yeah, that's pretty fun. But First Descendant, I think a lot of people don't really quite understand what kind of game it is. Warframe players should respect the hell out of y'all, right?
Well, gotta love a challenge.
They are so much more, Warframe players are so much more fucking sensible than Destiny 2 players. I am sorry, but like, holy shit, are Warframe people more sensible? Oh my god. As in case y'all are new to this here or whatever, I kind of talk about whatever shit while the gameplay is going on in the background. But, like, holy shit, Destiny 2 players are complaining about the fucking grind, and I'm like, I think Destiny 2 currently is in such a state that it just rains down fucking loot. At least, even back when I started during Season of Arrivals, getting an exotic was still a big deal back then. Getting a raid exotic was really good. They've buffed the fucking drop rates, you know? And, you know, I had a really bad track record of getting raid exotics, which was really low. 1K was different. 1K I got on my first go. Divinity, obviously, is a quest, right? But then you move, at least for me personally, you move on, you know? With Deepstone Crypt, took me 38 runs to get Eyes of Tomorrow. And even my girlfriend Torcia got it before me. And I witnessed people get it a second time before I got it. And when I got it, it was like an extreme amount of excitement. I had finally obtained something that had been eluding. It's kind of like edging. And then, you know, by the way of which, even with the exotic drop rate boost, I didn't get my second one until my 98th run of Deepstone Crypt. So out of 100 runs, I've only gotten 2. Because I have 100 runs in Deepstone Crypt currently. Because I just like teaching people that raid and everything, so it's, for me personally, it's one of the more fun raids to run. And then, you know, there was fucking Vault of Glass, which took me 42 fucking runs to get Vex. Which, again, I witnessed people get it. That being said, I didn't witness as many people get it as I did with Deepstone Crypt, but still, it's a lot of runs. Touch of Malice took me 32. Vow only took me 13, I believe. Crota took me a while to get all the Oversouls, but it didn't take me as long as other people, because I was going after the title. And Conditional Finality only took me 3. Which is kind of disappointing, because now, like, with the drop rates of raid exotics and shit being so high, it's just not as exciting anymore to get a raid exotic anymore. It's kind of just like with Vow and Rooted Nightmares, I was like, oh, raid exotic, nice. I'm more excited to get that final red border. It's like, yes, if I got this red border, and whatever, for me, for Vow the Disciple, armor was fucking eluding me. I could not get a specific Titan piece to drop, which I needed for the title. It was so bad. I think it was the Titan Mark II, and I literally had everything for the title except I was missing the Titan Mark. I had every single other thing done. It was absurd. But then I finally got it and I was so excited for it. Because that armor set looks super cool. It's still currently, I believe, the only Destiny 2 armor set that actually has moving parts on it. Even though we have 2 more raids. We've gotten 2 brand new more raids. What's the only raid to have, like, moving parts on it like that? and the 2 newest raid armor sets have been garbage. I was kind of hoping we were going to get Witness-themed armor in the raid, like with ghost faces and shit. I felt like that would have been pretty cool. That's kind of disappointing. But, and I know Warframe is pretty damn grindy. That I know from the time that I played it, like 2 years ago. And a lot of people are complaining, First Ascended, there's complaints like, oh, it's so grindy and everything, I'm like, Destiny 2 players, y'all were excited for the grind back in the day, y'all have it too good. Now, a correction that I will make from a poster that I made from the Final Shape is that not all weapons can be enhanced. It's just like a lot of the World Rock weapons can be.
What is this place?
But this is where I'm going to stop my little talking sesh, because here we have a very, very important cutscene here. And I'm going to let y'all kind of experience it for yourselves. I will say, quick warning, when you pick up this item, down the stairs and to the left, you need to be careful to not jump over the railing, because sometimes you will auto kind of grapple over it. As a not know, I'm gonna let y'all experience all of this for yourselves.
There's something hanging in the air. Looks like a human. I think they're alive. What should we do?
We have to save them from the contaminant.
What's that noise? No way.
Taki. How are you here?
Ah, the alpha signal is spiking!
Eve, that's enough, Anitiba.
No. There's no way. That's impossible. It's over.
Yes.
Eve. The subjugation is being lifted.
I've been waiting for this moment.
Now, you can rest.
Yes. My Eve. Thanks for freeing me. I have a favor to ask of you. My memories. Mother, Sphere. Can you send them to her? Will the memory stick be destroyed? Because it's already contaminated.
No, it won't be.
In that case, I'll be floating among the stars to space.
Taki! I promise, Taki. May your memories live on. Forever.
Alright, this is where I'm going to come back in, since all this guy does is tells us to go get another, it tells us to put the little thing in the machine, and then just tells us to go find another one. It talks, he doesn't, I don't like this character, because his whole entire purpose is just to be there and tell us to go here, put this thing in here, okay, go here to get this thing, okay, put it in there. And then that's kind of all he does. Yeah. And he doesn't really offer much of an explanation as far as why Taki got there. However, that note right there, I can't say much now. Well, I guess I can. The Black Naytiba, essentially Taki was an experimentation to make another
It has to be. But why?
certain kind of thing into an Naytiba.
I cannot feel.
There's a lot. I have to
Why?
watch my wording
Why
here
does it hate
because
us?
we y'all as a viewer haven't learned as much quite yet. But the Elder Naytiba did not create make Taki into a
Can you
Naytiba.
locate
The Black Naytiba did to try and attempt to replicate the Elder Naytiba's power, which will be more explained kind of at the end of the game.
All right.
But back to what I
we
was
need
saying,
another
right?
hypercell.
So
Where should we go this time?
almost made love and train of thought, but so yeah, I think Destiny 2 players have been showered with so much fucking loot. Exotic armor just drops all the fucking time. There's not really much of an excitement. There's not an excitement when you get an exotic engram. There's exotics just aren't exotic anymore. A key
yes.
problem that I have already seen some people talk about. So I'm leaving that for other people to more so mention. First Ascent is pretty grindy. The monetization is really bad. It's really bad. Like an Ultimate Descendant costing like 80 to 90 bucks is fucking ridiculous. And it does that scummy thing that Destiny 2 does as far as you don't get an exact amount for everything. However, Base Ascendant only costing like $5 is fine. That being said, I don't like how little in the mission progress that you unlock
I'm aware of
the
that.
ability
But I
to have the
promise
quest for getting
I
the
will
Descendants.
find it,
That's something I'm
and
not a
I
huge
will make
fan
it
of
pay.
necessarily.
That's the kind
But
of
it's one of
mistake that
those,
can
well,
pass.
oh well situation.
What?
The combat's
What did
fine.
you say?
A lot of people are complaining about the
Nothing.
mission structure.
Let's just prepare
It sounds like you
ourselves
just
to
go
to
here,
Lavoie.
shoot things, go here,
Come to the
shoot
safe
things.
house when you're ready
That
to leave.
literally fucking describes every single fucking shooter. What are half of Destiny 2 missions? You go here, shoot things, you go here, shoot things. And Doom Eternal. You go here, shoot things, go here, shoot things. That describes literally every single fucking shooter. Every single one. Like, holy shit. I will say, the voice acting is
Hey,
bad at
Are
times.
you alright?
However, that's
What
mostly a product of
happened?
the game not being from the US.
All over.
Something a lot of people
don't
are
know
not
who James
considering is that it is not from the US. Starlit Blade is one of those situations where
And now I'm being
some characters I prefer the
Why are you
Korean,
doing
but
this?
for some
used to have
voice actors I
hope
prefer
when the sky
English.
fell.
Like I prefer
I've always
English for
used to
Adam,
want it.
surprisingly
Then
enough,
I heard that there
and
was
I
a
find
time
that it
when
fits
we were
his model a little bit.
first, but I lost
Even though I know
it.
his
But
model's based
oh,
off the Korean voice actor,
I've been buying the same. Do you see this?
and
It's
Eve.
all over now. It's
Eve,
all
I prefer the
my fault.
combat
Why
with the
did I
Korean
put
voice
such-
actress,
Great
but
desert.
she's a little. It's for me, the Korean
Now
is
that
a
you
little bit
mention it,
badly
that
audio
Matrix
balanced,
11's
because for me, Eve is
no
quite
point.
quiet.
Can't tell if it's a punishment.
Now, so those were thoughts of the First Ascendant. I am really happy that you can get every single outfit in the game. You can get every single outfit in the game, so that's quite nice. And you can get it for free, but you can also buy it. You can buy it from early, but you can get it free later, which I'm perfectly fine with. Now, outfit-wise, we have gotten, well, we're about to get the Matrix 11 Bear outfit. You have to go into Matrix 11, which is into an area that I showed earlier. And then he will be, well, I don't think I've shown it yet,
Enya.
but
Eve.
before I talk about that outfit, this is Enya. You need,
wrong?
you
You're not
should
singing
really do
well.
her quest.
The thing
Her
is,
quest at
it's
the end
so-
will not give you
he hasn't-
anything fucking useful.
I've
However,
also heard that he's seen
at the end of the game, or it's before the last two bosses, there's
It was
going
much
to
harder
be
finding
an
scholars
area
than actually
where
finding them.
And now,
I kind of line you
here
up,
you are.
What do you want?
line you up,
See this?
and
Nice, as I'm trying to restore it.
basically,
You want me to help
there,
you fix such a
Yes, it is dangerous. But
a
if
bunch
it's
of
in
the
right
quests,
hands,
if you've done
of
that
course
character's
it's
quest, they will
Sentinels
be
you
there,
and
and
as
if you
for
talk to them, they
I
will
can't
give you an item.
refuse.
No
Those
need to
items
play
are
hard to get,
pretty-
and you might have second.
Pretty important.
Where did you?
Easy now.
So
If
that's
you
just
travel
that's a
far
little bit
enough
something to
out,
keep in
a
mind. The more
guard
character
turret
quests
that
you
got out
do,
of
the more of the
control
items
destroyed.
that you'll get
And bring me
at
to
the
the
end of the game.
trouble for you.
If you
Fine.
go for
But
not
it's
doing
for
Lily's
people
progress
of
bar,
Deal.
it does
This is
feel
the end.
strange because like these characters are not out there to meet you, which is kind of interesting, and I kind of like that detail. As far as the density of the crowd that's there to see you is different depending on, you know. Also, don't worry about my quest markers. In this playthrough, I'm only doing the necessary quests for specific items, because I don't really... Some of the quests are a little bit...
I've been waiting for you.
Do you have
but
good news?
they do build out the
I
world.
do.
Unfortunately, though, a lot of the
Well,
side quests
I
just
finished
kind of
customizing the tacky
end
device.
without any sort of resolution. But that's mostly the case for the
You can
earlier
now
quests,
use
which is a
Taki's
little
weapon
rough.
and
But it's
skills.
fine. Also, she does give us
Didn't think
Taki
that
mode,
kind of
which
thing
I
would be
have been
possible.
using periodically. I have it
That's
because I'm a
amazing,
New Game
really.
Plus. You will get it at this
I'm
point
sure
in the
Taki
story.
would have been happy to see this.
It's not until after
work.
Abyss Lavoir where you will get that second Exospine, which is pretty important. For regular games, you definitely can get away with just using the combo one in the reflex type. However, that's the setup I will be using until we get to... Well, actually, I won't be using the reflex type. I'll be using the protection type and the combo one. However, for later bosses, especially the ones I kind of want to extend the length of the fight for,
Eve, Lily,
like for the...
I just realized we forgot about the legacy we retrieved. from
I don't want to say the
That's
name of the
right.
boss,
We
but
left it in the
there's a
Tetrapod.
boss later on that we'll fight
go
that I
and
my personal favorite boss in the game,
Let's check it
that
out.
we will for sure be
I'm worried
extending.
about what this one is going
But
to be
here
like.
we are not actually going to go to the Great Desert. But first, before we do anything, I'm going to let y'all listen to this unidentified
Day
dive
52,
unit explain
after
some
the
shit.
second dive. 5th record. Legacy account Raven. I am the lone survivor. The truth. The truth always lets me down. I have gathered a good amount of information from the lab's records and the memories of Legion soldiers. We've always followed the instructions of Mother Sphere to the letter. She was our guiding light, our salvation, our god. However, in truth, Mother Sphere was a powerful artificial intelligence created by mankind. In the distant past, there was an engineer named Raphael Marx. He was her creator. Mother Sphere brought great prosperity to mankind, but she seemed to have changed her mind upon the creation of Andro Eidos, her self-made counterpart. After seeing the limits of humanity and the potential of Andro Eidos, she decided there was no room to spare for mankind. Our god is not the god of humans. Then why? Why do we worship Mother Sphere? I don't know anymore. The more I learn, the more questions I'm left with. Everything puzzles me.
Mother Sphere. A being that was created.
With our own hands.
But why would she want to destroy us?
This information is full of errors. It's just not credible.
Usually, things only exist because people make them. Like us.
How dare you? That's blasphemy! Sacrilege!
Right. Sorry. But the truth doesn't need to be kind, only true. The grace of Mother Sphere is a fiction. At least for the humans left here. Maybe you too will come to feel this way.
What?
Lily, Adam. This isn't the whole story. We don't even know if this is true.
Ah, yes. You're right.
We need more information. Adam, please take me to Abyss Levois.
Are you ready to leave?
All preparations are complete.
Alright, so now for the teddy bear outfit, you need to go to Matrix 11. Specifically, you need to transport yourself to the, you actually need to Railyard. That's the one you need to go. You are going to have to run a little bit. However, you don't have to do everything again. Which is something that I like about this game, is when you come back to areas, for example, we flooded this area earlier, it's still going to be flooded. It's not like as if you, as a character, did not have any changes there, you know? So, we're going to have to go through... You kind of just gotta follow the path that I take on screen, and where, if you remember, we were gonna get that little bit of, you know, we're gonna get that teddy bear basically that we kind of just left there. Also, next episode, we are not done with Wasteland. There's one last thing we will have to do in Wasteland. We're not done with that area. However, we cannot be done with that area until Great Desert, because there are 3 things we need to find in the Great Desert to get the New Game Plus version of La Vie en Rose, which I'm kind of excited to see, because I have not seen that. I have not seen the New Game Plus versions of most of these outfits, because I didn't get most of them. And I'm kind of excited to see what that one looks like. I love the base game version. It looks so good. That being said, though, some of the enemies respawn in this area. You can run past them, just be a little bit wary. So I should have probably assaulted one of them, but I chose not to. No diddy. But as long as you run through this room pretty quickly, they will de-aggro.
I didn't think I'd ever find myself.
You do
back
have to be
here.
careful, though. Definitely continue walking
Maybe
forward.
memories
Otherwise,
will
they will kind of stay
forever.
pseudo-aggroed onto you and will slowly walk into this area until they get you.
I found it.
And then we interact with this teddy bear,
I didn't
which
think we were going
was
to check
the
things out
guy's, which was the little
Let's see.
sister of that guy's. The memory chip
There is some
thing.
kind of foreign object inside. All
You
right,
should kind of
let's
already
take
be
it.
getting an inkling of what's happening. Which is also, a lot of the revelations happen in Abyss Lavoir and Eidos Night and Spire 4, which is why I would rather y'all hear from in-game me rather than just editing me, because I have a really bad habit of ripping. But we chose to go back to the client. This is something that I
Hey,
do
this
only
is
if
the
I don't
bear
have
we're
any more
talking
quests
about.
there, which we don't.
What a waste
But,
of time. I'm
Keep
sure
in mind, you
angels
don't
are
actually get the
better things.
outfit here necessarily. Also, yes,
Jade?
this guy is very obsessed
There was
with.
something other than
He reminds
stepping
me
inside.
of, if any of y'all have seen
It
Black
must be
Clover,
Jade's memory
the purple-haired guy. I forget what his name is. It starts with a G, I believe. While we're here,
Jade,
probably just gonna look it up.
sorry.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was like Grimace or something like that. I don't remember, and I don't. Gaston or something like that. It definitely wasn't Gaston, but whatever his name was,
to me.
y'all know who exactly I'm talking about. Super obsessed with his sister. This kind of reminds me of it.
Go. Jade. Let's
But after you
find a
talk to him
place.
here, he's going to move,
can
and
find
where he moves to
rest.
is where you'll have to find him. So again, I'm trying not to do a ton of these quests as well, because I want you all to do the quests for yourselves. There's a lot of the quests that are kind of interesting that I am completely skipping. Also here, my dumbass checked to see if I had the outfits, and I realized, oh, I forgot he moves into a separate area, which is to the right. So there he is, and that's where he will give us the outfit.
Angel, I was too
Torchic
shaken up
actually
to
likes
say
the New
much
Game Plus
before.
version
You found my
quite a lot.
sibling.
I was kind of hoping for a little
It's
bit
not much.
more, you know. I think it's the eyes. The eyes kind of off-put it for me. The outfit is a little bit of either. I think this game would work. A lot of these outfits and shit would work a lot better if not for the ponytail. If we got an option to get rid of the ponytail entirely, a lot of the hairstyles would work better. And you can see there's the pink bear outfit, which honestly is quite a goofy little outfit. But yeah, that's going to do it for Matrix 11. Great Desert will be up next, and after that will be the last episode y'all will be having me doing voiceover. But on that note, thanks for tuning in, and I will catch y'all on the flip side.